July 13th, for Colin 11 a.m. the video reflection haunted him. James froze the frame again. Behind the mirror, a silhouette. Not just watching, filming. The angle matched none of the cameras they'd found. This wasn't some improvised setup, this was orchestrated. He paused the footage right before the reflection vanished. Zoomed in. The person wore gloves. No identifying marks, except a silver ring on the thumb. Thick. Military style. James's stomach dropped. He had seen that ring before. 3 weeks ago. Barbecue at Alex and Stephanie's. One of her old friends had stopped by. Tall. Buzzcut. Quiet. Said he was ex-military. Never gave a name. He wore that exact ring, and James remembered something else. He never spoke directly to Alex. Only whispered to Stephanie. That same day, James broke into Alex's place. He had a copy of the key. Alex had given it to him years ago. Stephanie was gone. James searched everywhere. Drawers, attic, under the floorboards. In the bedroom closet, behind a rack of jackets, he found a duffel bag inside. $14,000 in cash, 3 passports, all with Stephanie's photo, different names, a flash drive labeled Nicholas. He plugged it into his laptop. There were 7 folders, each with a man's name. Each folder had videos. Each video showed the same thing. A man, tied to a chair. Stephanie, standing behind the camera, asking questions. Then someone else would step into the frame. Same voice every time. Calm. American. Military tone. Same silver ring, and one folder was labeled Alex. James drove straight to Detective Ramirez. He slammed the drive on the table. Ramirez watched 5 clips. Said nothing. Then he said, Stephanie isn't Stephanie. Her real name is Kara Jensen. We've been after her for years. Turns out, Kara wasn't acting alone. She was part of a domestic blackmail ring. They'd find isolated men, seduce them, move in, record compromising material, and when the time was right, extort or eliminate. 6 men had disappeared. In 5 years, 2 were found dead. The rest, missing, and the man in the red hoodie? A known enforcer. Former private contractor. No official record, but there was no proof to convict Kara. The footage on the drive? Legally shaky. Illegally obtained, and worst of all, Alex's body was never found. 2 months later. September. James left the neighborhood. Stephanie, or Kara, was still there. Untouched. Smiling. Gardening. As if nothing happened. No charges. No arrest. No answers. But James couldn't sleep. 1 night, a letter arrived. No return address. Just his name. Inside, a photo. Grainy. Taken through a window. It showed James sleeping in his bed. On the back, 3 words. Next is you. The phone was old, an iPhone 7, scuffed at the corners. Battery at 2%. It had been recording for hours. James picked it up. Hit stop. The last 7 minutes of footage were disturbing. A woman's voice, not Stephanie's, whispered frantically. Words were muffled. Shadows flickered across the lens. Then a loud bang. Heavy breathing. Then silence, and in the corner of the frame, a red hoodie. Alex sat on the concrete floor, staring at the shoe. That door wasn't there when we bought the house, he whispered. I remodeled the furnace room myself last year. There was nothing behind it. James kept scanning the room. The mattress looked used. The ropes were fresh. No dust, no mold. And that smell. Sharp, chemical. He noticed something on the wall. Scratches. 3 vertical lines, then 2 horizontal. As if someone was keeping tally. Call the police, James said, but Alex hesitated. If Stephanie finds out. James turned sharply. Alex, someone may have died here. July 11th, 3:22 a.m. 2 officers came quietly. Took photos. Bagged the phone. Marked the mattress and shoe. Stephanie wasn't home. Alex told them everything, including the red-hooded man, the logs, the recordings. But when they ran a property check, there was no permit, no record of that room ever existing. That same night, Alex stayed at James' place. He couldn't look Stephanie in the eye. I thought I knew her, he kept saying. She said she was adopted. No family. Clean record. But she's always locking the 2nd floor when I'm gone. July 12th. Morning. Stephanie came home. James watched from upstairs. She parked calmly. Waved at the neighbor's kid. Smiled. Went inside like nothing happened. 10 minutes later, a knock at his door. Alex, pale, holding something wrapped in a towel. She left this in the bathroom. It's covered in blood. Inside the towel, a small hunting knife, handle monogrammed. SK. They brought it to the precinct. The cops were interested. Now, Point 1 Detective Ramirez asked James to come in for questioning. Not as a suspect, but as a witness. He described everything. The patterns. The man in red. The dates. Then Ramirez said something odd. We've seen this before. James froze. What do you mean? Ramirez leaned in. 3 months ago. A similar case. 2 towns over. Woman in her 30s. Charming. Lived with a boyfriend. Men came and went. One vanished. Then a hidden room was found behind her pantry. Same setup. Mattress. Ropes. Video logs. James whispered. Was her name Stephanie? Ramirez shook his head. No. But the boyfriend said she'd changed her name. That night, Alex disappeared, left no note. No phone call. His car was found parked at a gas station 80 miles west. Inside, a single piece of paper with 4 words, "She knows I know." And nothing else. James didn't sleep. He turned the footage over and over. Rewatched everything. Listened. 4 patterns. Looked through every frame. Then he noticed something strange on the video again, and the reflection of a mirror behind the mattress. A second figure. Watching, not the man in the red hoodie. Not Stephanie, someone else, someone with a camera. The woman next door. You don't really know your neighbors. That's what James Holloway used to tell himself every night. Sitting alone in his upstairs study, lights off, peering through the blinds at the house across the street. At AT-47, James wasn't the paranoid type. A former Air Force technician, meticulous and grounded. Divorced, no kids, just his coffee machine and a telescope that he hadn't used for the sky in years, not since she moved in. Stephanie. Late 20s. Blonde hair, always pulled. Back in a casual bun. She laughed loudly, walked barefoot across the lawn, and painted her porch every other week. Her boyfriend Alex, mid-30s, corporate type, was gone most days from 8 to 8, but every time Alex left, someone else would arrive to tea first. James didn't care. He wasn't the neighborhood police. But patterns catch your eye. One man came Monday. A different one Wednesday. Then Saturday. Then another. Always between 9 and noon. Always leaving before dark, except one. July 98. A tall man in a red hoodie arrived at 10:12 a.m. James wrote it down out of habit. The guy had a limp. Brought a backpack. Entered the front door. James waited. Watched a N01 left. At 6:40 p.m. Alex. Came home. Still, no one had exited. James rewound the footage from his driveway can. Nothing. The man hadn't left through the front. Back alley. No. Windows. Impossible. It ignored him. The next morning, Stephanie acted as if nothing happened. She smiled at Alex. Brought out fresh lemonade for the mailman. Painted her porch again, pale yellow this time, and James watched. July 10th, 11:47 a.m. He dialed Alex's number. He still had it from that one awkward barbecue last fall. Alex picked up, confused. Listen, James said, slowly. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I've been watching your house. Your girlfriend. People come over when you're not there. I think one of them never left. Silence. Alex laughed. Nervously, James emailed him the screenshots, timestamp stills of the red-hooded man entering. No footage of him leaving. Logs. Notes, then the last slide. Man in red. July 9th. No exit. Alex didn't call back that day. But the next night, his car pulled up fast. He marched over to James' house and said one sentence. I found something. In the basement. He was shaking. There's a locked door behind the furnace. I never saw it before. They went together. The door was metal. Bolted. Not part of the original blueprint. James had a flashlight. Alex had a crowbar behind the door, a narrow corridor. It smelled of bleach. And something else. At the end of the hallway. A mattress. Ropes. A single high-heeled shoe and a phone. Still recording.